esecuzione di Albert Gudmundsson, secondo gol in campionato per lui.
My name is Albert Gudmundsson. I'm from Iceland. I play as an attacking player in Fiorentina. Football is my life, basically. I was born into a football family. I played football since I remember, since I was like 2 or 3 years old. My mother played football, my father played football. All of my sisters, they played and play football. My great-grandfather played football. So yeah, I was probably meant to be a football player. That's my life now. I play as a professional football player. I'm very proud to be a football player. It's a privilege, and yeah, and I enjoy every moment. Oh, well, you start playing football with your father at home, you know, or mother, or your siblings, you know. So, and then you go to school, you play more, then you start training. And I remember when I was young, I always went to the trainings with my father, because he was playing with an Icelandic local club. And that's how it all started. That's how I fell in love with the game.
You don't notice the difference straight away. It's that split second when the game slows down and then suddenly speeds up in a direction no one had anticipated.
Cambio di direzione repentino e Gudmundsson sale in cattedra.
It's the touch that wasn't necessary but changed everything. The move you weren't expecting and which, for that very reason, has stayed with you. In Florence, they know the difference well. They know that it's not enough just to do things. You have to do them in a way that makes them unique, unrepeatable, recognizable among 1,000. It takes a steady hand, a trained eye, and years of practice to understand exactly where and how to intervene.
Iceland and Italy are totally different countries. Big difference both in culture, weather, and everything. Probably the biggest difference, yeah, it's hard to say, but yeah, in everything. Like, we have very bad weather in Iceland most of the year. The winters are very dark, and sometimes when I'm in Italy, I just feel like I'm on holiday, you know, because of the weather, the food, you know, the people are very warm as well. So yeah, it feels nice to live in such a great country. Yeah, I've been before I signed in Italy for Genoa. I came on a holiday here a couple of times. It was that time I knew exactly that I wanted to play in Italy at least for some time during my career. My first impression with Florence was obviously a very beautiful city. The city doesn't seem very big, but there's a lot of people here. I really love the city. I love the vibe in the city center. The people have great taste of fashion, for example, and that's something I like as well. Food is good, wine is good, people are warm, so I'm very happy to be here. Now, when you mention made in Italy, first thing that comes to mind is probably just how the Italian way of living is. You know, how they treat everything with such a care, how everything, for example, in Florence is beautiful with art, everything is handmade with the leather and fashion and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's something that makes me think about that. Just like, for example, if we compare it to Florence people, you know, how they do their art, how they do their fashion, and how they do their leather, you know, they think about the detail and everything. So I can compare it to them, you know. I like the details of the things, and because I think the small details will make the difference in the end.
47,000 employees, 4,300 companies. Italy's leather goods supply chain needs no introduction. The figures speak for themselves. And Tuscany lies at its heart, with more than 2,100 companies and Italy's largest leather goods district. It's a supply chain that begins with raw hide and through steps that require years of expertise, becomes a product that the world buys, seeks out and imitates. 85% of its turnover is exported abroad to Paris, New York, Tokyo, Seoul, Berlin, and London. Wherever there are people able to recognize the difference between a manufactured object and one that is handcrafted, piece by piece, with the knowledge of those who truly know what they are doing. Asso Pelletieri represents this world, and twice a year, in February and September, Mipel transforms Fiera Milano Rho into the most important meeting point in the world for leather goods and fashion accessories. With over 200 brands, international buyers from every market, and 65 years of history that speak for themselves. Some things, the touch, the eye, the hand, do not move. They stay here, like everything that truly matters.
Yeah, once I leave Italy or leave football, that day will come. I want the people in Italy just think of me as a normal guy, just a guy who goes out to the city, have a coffee, have a drink. I don't bother being bothered for a picture or autograph. I think it's just part of my job. And so yeah, I think I just want to be seen as a normal guy who, you know, hangs around the people of the city. Living in Florence is very nice, you know. It's a beautiful city, full of life, full of art, full of food. So yeah, I really enjoy my time here. You know, even though it's a big city, it's also a lot of green land around Florence. Tuscany is a beautiful region. So yeah, I'm very happy to live in Florence.
Aveva angolato ma non troppo Gudmundsson, Provedel aveva intuito e toccato, non è bastato.
I am an attacking player, first of all. I like to attack more than I like to defend. I can play several positions. I feel like I'm probably the best as a number 10 behind the striker or as a second striker. But you know, I feel also comfortable on the left wing or right wing or wherever. I'm a technical player who likes to attack. You know, I can play in all positions up front. You know, I think about a lot of the small details of the game. I'm just a player who wants to have the ball and create something for myself or for my teammates.
E per la Fiorentina ha segnato il numero 10, Albert!
No, I don't mind it to be around the people in the city center. You know, I think I get along with everyone. Obviously, you meet sometimes people who are maybe not happy with the results on the pitch, but in the end, I understand them if they're not happy with it, you know, because I'm also very passionate about football, so I want to perform on the pitch, so if somebody's not happy, I can understand, but you know, I'm still a human and like to enjoy myself in the city center, to go for dinner or meet my friends. That's part of my job, that people know me, but that's just how I see life, and I can live on with it. Yeah, when I'm not at the training ground playing or training, I like to either relax at home or see my friends, you know, see my teammates, hang around with my kids, with my family. So it's different, you know. I think the life of a football player can be boring, but you know, you can make it also a little bit more creative to, you know, be with friends, because I feel like I have friends and family give me a lot of energy back, so that's also very important to me.
Florence has always attracted those who want to leave a mark. Not necessarily the biggest one, not necessarily the most visible one, but the right one at the right time, in the right place. The one that makes the difference.
Florence, Fiorentina, they showed me interested the year before I signed. They were very keen on getting me on board. The project sounded very interesting. I had several conversations with the directors and the coaches at that time. And you know, they just sold me the project, and I was happy to come aboard. Yeah, it's very important to feel comfortable at home. Obviously, we as a football player, we spend a lot of time here at the training ground. or traveling for games or whatever. So I think the times you spend at home have to be comfortable. You have to feel very good at home. And you know, I feel very good at home in Florence. I feel very happy to represent Fiorentina, not just as a club, as a city, as a big culture of Florence. Like I mentioned before, you know, the art, the food, you know, the fashion and everything that Florence, you know, is. So I'm very proud of being part of that.
A pochi minuti dal recupero, Gudmundsson. Quel Gudmundsson che probabilmente si aspettavano i tifosi viola, oggi viene fuori.
Avere!